Shalom, shalom, shalom. Hey, we got a class coming at you today. First of all, we're gonna give our honor and glory and praises to Yahawahshi, Yahawahshi, right? Double honors to the elders of the house of David. Mighty shalom to the saints scattered abroad throughout the four corners. All right, and brother Shamariah,
Khan of Israel.
Brother Nakai.
Khan, brother Nasi on the scene. Shalom, shalom, family.
Khan, we got a class today about Yahawahshi, right? It's Yahawahshi of Nazareth, the Ghetto, right? We know that Yahawahshi Hamashiach was a Jake, as we are, a Judite, as as we are, right? So we're gonna get into this thing, kind of break down, where he resided, where he was born, and pull some precepts to complement the point of him actually being from the slums or the ghetto, right? Anybody want to expound, they can go ahead.
Khan, man, we just definitely want to make sure, man, that if you're new to the channel, man, like, share, and subscribe. When you come in the building, man, hit the bell for the notification, so when we do go live, right, you'll be able to tap in and chime in with us, with the saints. Shalom to all the saints that scattered abroad, man, all the Aki and the Aqua that's out there doing the work and magnifying the ministry, right? We got a full house tonight, man, and Lord willing, man, we're gonna bring edification through the Spirit, so that you can understand that this is our history, right? This is we are the people of this book, and as we go and unfold a lot of these precepts, you'll come to know more that Yahawahshi was just like us. When we say Jake, just kind of give you a behind the scenes of the terminology. With Jake, which is talking about the average so-called Black American, right? So that's what we're talking about when we're dealing with Jake, or we referencing the average Black man in today's society, right? The so-called Black, Hispanic, and the Native American, right? But with that, I yield. Right, you got something you can expound on?
Khan, just I want to make sure that you expound on the Hispanics and Native Americans as well. But specifically, Christ is a Judite, so that would be that would actually be the so-called Black man in America from the tribe of Judah, the real Jews. So he behaved as such, he carried himself as such, and we're gonna go into
the title though. That's where he came from. He came from the ghettos.
He came from the same places we come from.
And I tell him all the time, like, there's no way you could tell me that the Northern Kingdom is not. Bro, they right here in the ghettos with us, like literally. So
we got even work with some Northern Kingdom brothers that they us. I can't even explain it. They move like us, they operate like us, they look like us. Yahweh willing, we're gonna go into some of the in the future, maybe in a week or so. We plan on doing a series on the tribes, and the similarities and who's what and how do you know, and so forth and so on. With that being said, we're gonna get into this breakdown, man. Right, we're gonna open up. Let's start with Deuteronomy 18 and 18.
Here. I know the show.
Let's start at 15. Nah, let's start at 17. Deuteronomy 18 and 17. God, you can read it if you're there, King.
I get it.
Okay, come.
Deuteronomy chapter 18 and verse 17. And it reads, "And the Lord said unto me,
what he said?
They have well spoken that which they have spoken. I will raise them up a prophet from among their brethren, like unto thee."
Like what?
Like unto thee.
Go ahead.
"And I will put my words in his mouth."
I will do what?
Put my words in his mouth.
Go ahead.
"And he shall speak unto them all that I shall command him."
The Most High said he's going to put his words in his mouth, and he's going to speak everything that the Most High commands him. So let's go to John 17:8.
And he said, I read you, I'm a prophet among the brethren. It says, like unto you.
Like unto you.
So right. if we in the positions, why wouldn't he be in the positions that we
I'm gonna go into that too, right? You know what I'm saying? And not even just necessarily in those positions, but why wouldn't he, if he's gonna raise up a prophet like unto us, wouldn't he actually conduct like us? Wouldn't he be subject to the things that we're subject to? Not that he will handle the situations the same or move like we move, but he will be subject to the same situations, right? So we're gonna go into this next precept. It's gonna be John 17. Let's start at 7.
John chapter 17 and verse 7, and it reads
3 through 8.
Verse 7. Now they have known that all things whatsoever thou hast given me are of thee. For I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me.
I did what?
I have given unto them the words which thou gavest me.
Just like it said in the previous precept, he's going to put Yahweh would put his words in this prophet's mouth, right? And here's Christ saying, I have given unto them the words which thou hast given me. Right? Go ahead.
And they have received them.
They what?
Received them.
What do we do?
Receive them.
Go ahead.
And have known surely that I came out from thee, and they have believed that thou didst send me.
Right? So Yahawahshi had no guile in his mouth. You know, he was pure. It was true. Right? You know what I'm saying? And these testaments are written about him from Genesis to Revelation. And he came fulfilling the prophecy. He came with his father's will, right? Let me get the next precept. It's going to be John 4 and 25. John 4 and 25.
John chapter 4 and verse 25.
3 through 26.
And it reads, the woman said unto him,
what she say?
I know that Messiah is coming, which is called Christ. When he come, he will tell us all things.
He will tell us what?
All things.
He would do what?
Tell us all things.
Go ahead.
Yahawahshi said unto her, I that speaketh to thee am he.
So he said, it is I. I'm the one you speaking of, right? So the one that you're looking for, you speaking of, that's going to come telling you all things. I am that prophet. I am that Christ. I am Hamashiach, right? Let's go, from there, let's get John 18 and 5. John 18 and 5.
John chapter 18 and read verse 5.
Start at 4.
Verse 4. Yahawahshi therefore, knowing all things that should come upon him, went forth and said to them, whom seek ye?
He said, what?
Whom seek ye?
Okay.
They answered him, Yahawahshi of Nazareth.
Who did they ask for?
Yahawahshi of Nazareth.
What was the Mashiach's title?
Yahawahshi of Nazareth.
And what did he say?
He said to them, I am he.
What did he say?
I am he.
You can yield right there because we'll go back to that later, right? So he will be referenced as Yahawahshi of Nazareth, right? Because the name Yahawahshi was a common name, right? It's like Joshua of this time, right? It's a common name. So it wasn't just people didn't just go by that name. They came about with a title like John the Baptist, Yahawahshi of Nazareth, right? It was something attached to it to distinguish you from the next individual, right? Also, Yahawahshi Hamashiach, right? The Christ, the anointed, right? Let's get John 1 and 45. John 1 and 45.
John chapter 1 and verse 45. Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, we have found him of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write.
You see that? Who Moses in the law, and we just came from that with Deuteronomy 18 and 18, right? And there's different prophecies that we'll get into regarding Hamashiach that the prophets prophesied of in times of old. So they said, this is he whom Moses and the prophets had written of, right? I think it's another precept where Christ, I know that there's another precept where Christ said, had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, right? Because he wrote of me, right? Go ahead. You can find that. Go ahead.
I keep reading on that real quick though. It says, found him whom Moses in the law and the prophets did right.
Right.
Yahawahshi of Nazareth.
Who?
The Yahawahshi of Nazareth. The son of Joseph.
The what?
The son of Joseph.
You see, it's very specific. Yahawahshi of Nazareth, the son of Joseph, right? I think that's it on that. Is it?
I can keep reading.
No, we're gonna come back to that.
Okay.
We're gonna come back to that. If you can find that precept though, Baba Kasha. If you can, I can find it.
I got it. John chapter 5, verse 46, and it reads,
Bring it out.
For had ye believed Moses, ye would have believed me.
You see that? Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me. You would have had no problem, or the Jews would have had no problem receiving and believing Hamashiach if they had believed Moses, because he forewarned them or foretold of Hamashiach's coming, right? Go ahead.
For he wrote of me.
He did what?
He wrote of me.
And that will be the precept written in Deuteronomy 18 and 18, speaking about a prophet that they would raise up from your, like unto your brethren from the brethren, right?
It says, but if you believe not his writings, how shall you believe my words?
Now, how are you going to believe Hamashiach, who is the law, the embodiment of the law? So he comes speaking and doing the law. And if you didn't believe Moses and you not speaking and doing the law, how are you going to believe Hamashiach or recognize the law when it's right in front of your face?
And that's why I believe some of them was that same generation that was in the wilderness, because them niggas, y'all weren't listening to Moses. So,
and they still not.
Still not. So
even, why would even to our generation.
And he asked him, like, why? How would y'all listen to me? Moses didn't even stand a chance.
Right.
So I don't even stand a chance.
That's a great point, King. So from there, I want to get a few.
We go to it.
Go ahead, King. All right, we're just gonna get some. A few pictures showing Nazareth.
Got it right here.
As y'all can see, the thumbnail, it's a very rural area, right? So that's not the one I want first. Let me get it. So this will be, can they see it?
Yeah, they can see it.
All right. This will be Nazareth, and where it's located in Lower Galilee, right? Judea and Jerusalem will be further south, right? This would be Nazareth right here in Lower Galilee, which would be where Christ was actually raised. Not where he was born, but where he was raised, right? Get some more. Now, if you see right here in the Lower Galilee, this is where Nazareth is, right? Now, Judea would be at this time like the Judea would be the prominent place where actually the Romans had subject to, right? They were actually controlling Judea. Galilee wasn't a part of that, right? Now these area is where all the Israelites were, but Rome actually had power or was in control of Judea, right? Okay. Now we're gonna get into that a little bit, right? I'll read this first. Read this, Yashala. Just like it. Hold
on. It says the Roman provinces were the administrative regions of ancient Rome outside Roman Italy that were controlled by the Romans under the Roman Republic and later the Roman Empire. Each province was ruled by a Roman appointed as a governor.
Right. So we know during the time of Christ's birth, Herod was actually ruling over Judea, right? And Christ was born in Bethlehem, which is the city of David, which means place of bread or house of bread. This is where Christ was born, right? They were journeying to that area or to Bethlehem because it was tax season, and Joseph had to travel back to Judea or Bethlehem to actually pay his taxes, right? The same situation, the same type of tax system that was set up now, or that is set up now, that's what was set up during this time.
What's that scripture that says taxes?
Republican.
You were taxes basically you a subjection.
Oh, you a subjection. See if you can find that. Right. So during this time, the same people were in power. The Romans, or the so-called Idumeans or Edomites, were in power, and this is the same people that we are in subjection to now, right? So the same type of systematic taxing that's going on now is what was going on back then. So David had to travel back. Now, don't get me wrong, it ain't as easy as doing TurboTax. It wasn't the same thing, but you still were taxed, being that you were a citizen or you were from the stock of that house. And Joseph was of the house of David, right? So he had to travel back to the city of David in order to pay his taxes, if you get where I'm going, right?
And there's actually plethora of scriptures of us being taxed. Luke 2, really the second chapter, Acts 5:37. But that's like that scripture that says, so just how we was being taxed back then, well, just how we taxed right now, we was taxed back then. When the Romans and these different nations, when they had rulership over us, they was able to do that. When you get into the so-called new, they use the word taxes, but when you read farther back in the so-called old, they say it's spoils. What else is it called? Spoils. They come bringing the nations. They come. We would have to come bring. Forgot what the word called for. That's crazy how I forget it. But this was a thing that this was a common thing in the earth, though. Basically, what I'm trying to say is it's nothing new.
And it's just going into the rulership that was going on, and or the I don't want to give it that big of a title, or the strong arming or forcing of the hierarchy. There you go. Go into this. I read that for you.
It says Judea was a Roman province which incorporated the regions of Judea and Samaria and Idumea.
You see that? Judea, Samaria, and Idumea, right? They were in the high Rome was in the political position to rule over all these different regions, right? Go ahead, King. And not even just these. At this time, Rome was the powerhouse. So it's not just this region that they were ruling over, but they were ruling over all prominent areas at that time, and different charters or different sects, right? There was different governors that were different. It's just like how America has different states, but there's different individuals representing those states, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. Or if you want to take it as far as say the UN, right? It's different political figures representing these different areas, but there's one person that represents them all, right? The same way it's different governors in each state, but at the present time, Sleepy Joe is the representative of them all, right? Caesar was the king of all of these areas, but there was different governors or chief or rulers in different areas. From Herod, I think in the time of Christ's death, it was Pontius Pilate, right?
So like, I got a precept for that. Herod being the king.
What you say?
I got a precept for Herod being the king in Matthew.
Go ahead, King.
This is the book of Matthew, chapter 2, and I'm just starting at verse 1. Now, when Yahawahshi was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem, saying, "Where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him."
Okay.
So this is just to land me back on what the brother was saying, dealing with the hierarchies and the governments that were set up. Herod was just a piece. He was a pawn on the board, right? He wasn't right. He wasn't the major piece, the king, right, or the queen in that matter. But I yield with that point.
Okay. Finish that out for me, bro.
Okay. And it says, and extended over parts of the former regions of Hasmonean and Herodian kingdoms.
And the Herodian kingdom, right? Which will be referencing Herod's reign. Go ahead.
Of Judea. It was named after the Tetrarch of Judea, but the Roman province encompassed a much larger territory. The name Judea is derived from the Iron Age kingdom of Judah.
Now, it said the Roman province encompassed a much larger territory because they were in rulership over a lot more areas than just Judea, Idumea, and Samaria. It was a lot of different areas that Rome really had a rule over, right? All right. Go into a few more excerpts, and then we're going to keep it moving. I think you just read this. Read this one.
Okay.
Oh, no, that's
so like y'all.
What you say, I
was saying when y'all click on that, y'all can the water.
So I think this is the same one he just read. I think I pulled this one as well. All right, so we're gonna go on right now. Nazareth was like a backwoods, right? The main city or the main cities was your Jerusalems and your Judea, right? Nazareth was like the sticks, the country, the backwoods, right? Let's read this. Going to this.
It says Nazareth fits the description. I'm trying to get closer.
You can read it. You make it the back.
Nazareth fits that description. The Judeans simply
read the top.
Okay, so why was Nazareth looked down?
Right? Because we're gonna go into a few precepts that kind of outline or detail why Nazareth wasn't really considered a prominent city or place. Right? Go ahead.
Okay. It says Judeans simply looked down upon Nazareth as the urban inhabitants of a great city is supposed to look down upon backwoods settlements.
It's like staying in Dallas and looking down on the colony, right? You know what I'm saying? Or Little Elm, or whatever the case may be. You ain't really from the city. You from the sticks, the country, the suburbs, or a lower area. Because in today's times, you look at the outskirts, and those are like prominent places where the big houses are. But in that time, it wasn't a lot going on there. It wasn't a big city. It wasn't a large population. It was like a rundown little pass-through city or a ghetto, right? Go ahead. I finished it up.
Therefore, the Jews would have little to do with this place and largely despise it. Nazareth was considered a lowly, despised town in Galilee.
A lowly, despised town in Galilee. You ain't got to read that one, right? So it was a really lowly place, right? All right. So let me get somebody real quick. If you can give me Luke 2:4-7.
It's the book of Luke, chapter 2, and verse 4.
We kind of read this. We kind of spoke on it and read a little bit into it, but now we're gonna go into it. Go ahead. All right.
Luke chapter 2 and verse 4. And Joseph also went up from Galilee, out of the city of Nazareth, into Judea unto the city of David, which is called Bethlehem, because he was of the house and the lineage of David.
Now, like it said, Joseph was actually of the house of David. He was from the royal seed line that would proceed Jesse, David, and Solomon. He's from that same lineage, right? All the way down into Hamashiach, right? So he actually had to go and represent his house and the house of David. Right? Go ahead, King.
Verse 6, verse 5. To be taxed with Mary, his espoused wife, being great with child. Mm-hmm. And so it was that while they were there, the days were accomplished that she should be delivered. Mm-hmm. And she brought forth her firstborn son.
She brought forth her what? She brought forth her what? Her firstborn. So Christ was actually the oldest as well, right? He was the oldest of Mary's children, right? He was the firstborn, and that's spiritual and prophetic, because not only was he the firstborn from his mother, he was the firstborn of all creations, right? You got some on that?
That's what it's called, tribute.
Oh, come on.
I have felt it when he was talking about it.
Come on, you can bring it out.
Come on. Matthew 17 and verse 22.
Because this is what they were doing initially, essentially. Joseph and Mary were coming to do this. Go ahead and bring it out.
And while they abode in Galilee, Yahawahshi said it to them, the Son of Man shall be betrayed in the hands of men, and they shall kill him, and the third day he shall be raised again. Mm-hmm. And they were exceeding sorry. But verse 24, and when they were come to Capernaum, they that received tribute money came to Peter and said, doeth not your master pay tribute? Mm-hmm. He said, yes. And when he was coming to the house, Yahawahshi prevented him, saying, what thinkest thou, Simon, of whom do the kings of the earth take custom or tribute? Of their own children, or of strangers?
But
Peter said unto him, of strangers. And Yahawahshi said unto him, then are the children free. Not with that's it on that.
Right. So they had to come pay tribute. Right. Just like we paying tribute to Sleepy Joe and the government. It's something that was set up from from an old time. They've been doing this. It's nothing new. Right?
Yeah.
So they had to go into Bethlehem, or the city of David, which again is called the house of bread, or the place of bread. Right? And if you look at this reference, Chicago wrote a piece where they actually called Bethlehem a little ghetto of Bethlehem.
Yeah.
Right? It's not an unknown thing that the Jews or Christ or our people come from the ghettos. Right? It's a common thing. It's a well-known thing among biblical scholars and anyone that has any biblical integrity and know the stock or the position that the so-called Israelites or Jews were in back in the time of Hamashiach. Right? Again, look at this for yourself. This was written in December 23rd, 2006. It says the city of Christ's birth is now partially surrounded by a wall, and they call it a little ghetto of Bethlehem. Right? They just playing on you, right? But they know that these places are considered ghettos. Now we're going to go into the dictionary, right? This is, you can read this too, Yasha. This is Merriam-Webster, right?
Gotcha.
Dictionary. Read that, all right?
Where ghettos.
Started from the top. You sprang.
Yep. Ghettos, a quarter of a city in which Jews were formerly required to live.
Now read that again.
A quarter of a city which Jews were formerly required to live.
So ghettos is where the Jews live, even until today. These places that we've been subjugated to or have always been known or classified or referenced as ghettos. So for us to be in this area now, still speaking these same things, is because we are those same people, right? Read the second definition.
A quarter of a city in which members of a minority group live, especially because of social, legal, or economic pressure.
Same thing. The same way the Jews were subjugated into the ghettos and socially, legally, and economically oppressed, it's the same position that we here now in Babylon. It's the same thing, man. Nothing new under the sun. Read the next definition.
An isolated group.
A what?
Isolated group.
So we are the ghetto, the population, a group that's been isolated and suppressed into not only servitude, not only physical, mental, and spiritual bondage, but financial restraints. That's what they've been putting our people in, or the position that the other nation have been forcing upon our people from generations and generations of times beforehand. Anytime that we weren't in rulership, majority of our people were subjugated into the ghettos. Right? Read that the last one.
Situation that resembles a ghetto, especially in conferring inferior status.
Who?
Inferior status.
Inferior status.
Or limiting opportunity.
Or limiting opportunity. And this is what the position our people have, and are going to have until Yahawahshi makes his second return. Now, we're not talking about all Jews that are in a position to receive gifts and rewards from the rulers or the people that be in a position of power. We're talking about the population of our people in the masses. And it's not just like the brother was bringing out earlier. It's not just the so-called black man. It's all the Latinos and the Native American men. We are all subjugated to rural areas.
But yeah, I mean, you see the inferior status, liberty, opportunity today. Like, bro, what they call us with like 3/5 as a person. We kind of as like 3/5 of a damn person. I don't even got to get into limiting opportunity. You see that every day with our people, you know.
Last hire, first fire.
Yeah.
Right. If you get a position up or a leg up, you either have to buy into the system, right? Sacrifice your well-being and life for them, or you got an ace card from somebody that's already did the first two things.
Here is you working 20 plus, 30 plus years just to make a damn 80K salary. And it's like, for what? Like, and you gave your life away. You doing 12-hour shifts, 5 days out the week, barely getting sleep. And it's like, we not put in a position at all. Like, we doing all this working, but who we doing all this working for?
That's right.
You know, we doing all this work to build up their kingdom, you know, to build up their economy. Why is he in the back? Oh, he probably the phone.
No, he ready. He wanted to get it back.
Okay, but
the water, Akim. But I got booted for some reason. But yeah, man, what the brothers is pretty much painting the picture too, man. Just to add to it. Here. And I got a quick precept. You had quoted it earlier in Ecclesiastes 1:9. Right, Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, "The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that's that right. which is done is that which shall be done, and there is no new thing under the sun." And then, so to expound on that, a lot of this stuff, it is repetitive. This is not a new thing in the earth, as the Ak is saying, but this is the mind trick or the delusion that they will have you believe that these things are new, but these things are from aforetime. And I'm gonna finish up. It'll expound on it. Verse 10. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is a new thing? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. But by them telling us that we are not these people, right? By them having you believe that you're so-called black, Hispanic, and a Native American Indian, so on and so forth, right? You won't cleave to this understanding. So all these things will seem new to you, right? So for us who come into this truth, we realize, like, man, this is us. When this is not a new thing, so when is it going to stop? When is it going to end? Right? So that's when we make the connection via Yahawahshi, and that he was just like us, man. Right? He went through the same persecutions. He went through the same trials and tribulations, the same systematic oppression, right? All these things, our Hamashiach, the Savior, suffered those at the hand of our enemy. Finishing up real quick, it says that after to come with those that shall come after. So that's Ecclesiastes 1:9 to show you that there's nothing new that's done under the sun, right? So the same thing that was going on in the Roman age and the ancient days of old is still going on today, right? I yield with that point.
That was a mighty point, right? So what we're gonna go into now is show you how. Now we just went into the cities where our Savior and anointed was birthed in and raised in, right? And we showed you that the ghettos is what the Jews were subjugated to. Now we're going to show you where Christ is actually one of those people, right? I'm gonna bring this out. This is Hebrews chapter 7 and verse 14.
I'm holding for you. I gotta bring
Precept.
it out.
Bring it out, King. Classic precept.
Fine. Hebrews 7 and 14. It says, "For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah."
See,
of which
it's
tribe
evident.
Moses spake
Go ahead, King.
nothing
Finish it out.
concerning the priesthood. I'm gonna read it one time through and through.
Okay.
Hebrews 7 and 14. "For it is evident that our Lord sprang out of Judah, of which tribe Moses spake nothing concerning the priesthood."
See, it's evident that Hamashiach came from Judah, right? And as we continue to expound and go into different precepts, not only because we know that his physical lineage was of the house of David, and had the king still been in rulership, he would have sat on the throne. But when we go into these different situations and curses that Christ was even subject to, being a Judite, right? You will see that these things played out how they were supposed to because of who he was in the physical as well as in the spiritual, right? So the next precept is going to be Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16. Hebrews chapter 2, verse 16.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, and verse 16. "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham."
The what?
The seed of Abraham.
Right. So Christ came in the flesh, right, and took on the seed of Abraham. I got a quick precept. Not on the breakdown. It just came to mind. Give me 1 second. This is 1 John. 1 John chapter 4. And verse 3. And it reads, "And every spirit that confesses not that Yahawahshi Hamashiach is come in the flesh is not of Yahweh. And this is that spirit of the Antichrist, whereof ye have heard that it should come, and even now already is it in the world," right? So we know that he took on the seed of Abraham. Shalom, brother Karash. We got the brother Eleazar on the scene. We got the brother the Brukin, right? We got the rib. Shalom, everybody tapped in, right? But again, we know that Christ came in the flesh, and the flesh that he came through was of the seed of David, and the stock was of Judah, right? Go ahead and finish that out, King, in Hebrews.
This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 2, and I'm going to pick back up at verse 17.
Run it back from 16. Baba Kashah.
Hebrews 2 and 16. "For verily he took not on him the nature of angels, but he took on him the seed of Abraham. Wherefore, in all things it behooved him to be made, it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren."
You see that? Just like you said in Deuteronomy 18 and 18, I'm going to raise up someone from your brethren, like unto your brethren. So she says it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren. Not only is that in the physical, that also is referencing being subject to the curses, right? But we're going to further prove that. Go ahead.
Wherefore in all things it behooved him to be made like unto his brethren, that he might be a merciful and faithful high priest in things pertaining to the Most High, to make reconciliation for the sins of the people.
Right.
Verse 18. For in that he himself had suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted.
So he came in the flesh, right? He made like unto his brethren. He came into the flesh, and he was subject to the same temptations, strongholds, curses, fleshly desires that we were subject to, which is why his compassion is on a level that it could exceed the average angel, because he didn't come in the likeness of an angel, right? Though he had his glorified body when he left the earth, right? He came in the flesh like we are, dealing with the same thorns in his side that we had, even more so, right? If you can jump up to verse 9, Baba Kasha.
Hebrews 2 and verse 9, and it reads thus: But we see Yahawahshi, who was made a little lower than the angels, for the suffering of death, crowned with glory and honor, that he, by the grace of the Most High, should taste death for every man.
You see that? Go ahead. See, everything that he was made like us. So the thing, but his perfection, he was going to be able to beat the things that we weren't able to. And another verse says that he actually swallowed up death and had the victory, right? Go ahead, King.
Verse 10. For it became him, for whom are all things, and by whom are all things, in bringing many sons unto glory, to make the captain of their salvation perfect through sufferings.
He was the captain of salvation, right? He perfected it through his sufferings, right? All the things that he did was the threshold for us to pass over into the new kingdom and receive salvation, right? Finish that out. You can stop at 13.
Con. Hebrews chapter 2 and verse 11. For both he that sanctifieth and they who are sanctified are all of one.
Right.
For which cause he is not ashamed to call them brethren.
Call them what?
Brethren.
Go ahead.
Saying, I will declare thy name unto my brethren in the midst of the church. Will I sing praise unto thee. Verse 13. And again, I will put my trust in him. And again, behold, I and the children which the Most High hath given me.
Kind, right? So we're going to get further into this thing, right? Let's get Revelations 2 and 9, right? Because it says that he sat in the, what is that? In verse 18, it says, for in that he himself had suffered being tempted, he is able to succor them that are tempted, right? Because those same temptations that we endure, he endured until the end, right? The same temptations that shake, rattle, or stumbling block for us, he conquered and overcame in the flesh, right? Go ahead, King.
Book of Romans.
No. Revelations 2 and 9. Revelations 2 and 9.
Like it. Revelations 2 and verse 9, and it reads thus. I know thy works.
I what?
I know thy works. And tribulation. And poverty. But thou art rich.
Now look at that. He says, I know your works. I know your tribulation and your poverty. Why? Because he came and experienced the same thing. I know what y'all going through. I know that y'all are in poverty, but you rich, right? Because through the spirit, you are invaluable, right? You are made wealthy and made whole through the spirit of Hamashiach. I know firsthand what y'all going through because I came and went through it too. I was right there with y'all, right? I know your tribulations, right? Go ahead.
I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
Now we know on a spiritual level, this is talking about the demon spawn, the Jews, right? The so-called Jewish people. But on a double-fold level, it's also the 2/3, right? Which say they are of the stock of Israel, right? And are not, right? Because all Israel is not Israel, right? But those that endure to the end, the same shall be saved, right? What you got,
Con, I just want to expound on that point too. This precept, I was going to bring it out earlier, but I saw it on a breakdown. But this is also when the brother was out about the gifts, right? They would have believe on American history that
Yo, Ak, you breaking up pretty bad.
The ghettos, right?
Yo, Ak.
They don't know firsthand.
Yo, Ak. Ak. Let me just exit him out. Kind of brother froze up. We'll add him back here in a second. But like I was saying, Christ came in and was subject to the ghettos, right? In the same area, rural areas that we grow up in. He was in the same situations. He was despised by men. He was hated by many, right? He came and had the same physical experience on this earthly plane that we had, right? You was breaking up pretty bad, Ak, so we just X you out, and now you back in.
Come, mic check.
You good, King?
Come. But yeah, I was expounding on the fact how they have done a mind trick too as well with the Ashkenazi Jewish people, right? And they would have you believe that these Jewish people, right, suffered ghettos as in Galilee, as the same things that Yahawahshi suffered, but that they can't equate.
Right.
They don't, and also they don't fit the prophecies, right, of the things and the land. Not only the prophecies, but the how many the curses. They don't fit the curses. They don't fit. So this is another precept just to expound on you that Yahawahshi, yes, he is from Nazareth, but the so-called Jewish people, they would have to prove these things and prove that they are from these areas too as well, right? As the so-called blacks, because these things are said. A part of the curses said that these people are going to go through these same persecutions, right? Which they are not. The so-called Ashkenazi Jewish people who are occupying the land of Israel today, right? But with that, I yield. I just want to bring that point out because that Revelations 2:9 says that they are liars, right? I yield.
That's right. Khan. That's right. And they are not the have-nots. They are not the who we are, right? How we have been, and how we've gone without and been without for generations and generations, right? And been spoiled as a people. That only happens to us, and it's only still happening to us, right? You know what I'm saying?
I had a precept on that.
Go ahead.
It's a classic precept, Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30. Just talking about being taxed, building up another nation. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 30. Thou shalt be betrothed a wife, and another man shall lie with her. Thou shalt build an house, and thou shalt not dwell therein. Thou shalt plant a vineyard, and shalt not gather the grapes thereof.
Khan, you can expound on that, all right?
Just like we've been building up another nation, being taxed, being subject to payments. That's the curses that's put up on our people. Even at that time, Yahawahshi being taxed and building up the same people, the Edomites.
And that's powerful what you said and brought that out, because not only, how we've been a people that's building up another people, we still building up the Jews. We are paying taxes to a system that is still paying money to the so-called Jewish people.
Reparations.
Right? Reparations and just an unlimited flow of income. So this is something that we still doing. They just made it made it a systematic loophole to where if you don't have eyes to see, you might not even notice it. Right?
But
we gonna you got some, Mike?
No, I'm getting that John 1.
Yasha already there. You can grab the next one. Go ahead, King.
John chapter 1 and verse 29.
Because not only did Christ come from the ghettos, man, his disciples came from the ghettos, right? His people were pulled from Galilee, right? Go ahead and go into it, King.
John 1 and verse 29, and it reads, The next day John seeth Yahawahshi coming unto him, and said, Behold, the Lamb of God, which taketh away the sins of the world. There is he of whom I said, after me cometh a man which is preferred before me.
Right.
For he was before me, and I knew him not, but that he should be made manifest to Israel. Therefore am I come baptizing with water.
Right. You can jump down to 35. That's his big cousin, man. Just big up in him and letting y'all know that the Hamashiach was on the scene, man. The Christ was on the scene. It was his little cousin, Yahawahshi. All right, you can jump to 35.
Again, the next day after John stood, two of his disciples looking upon Yahawahshi as he walked, he said, Behold the Lamb of God. And the two disciples heard him speaking, and they followed Yahawahshi. Then he turned and saw them following, and said unto them, What seek ye? They said unto him, Rabbi, which is to be interpreted, Master, where dwelleth thou? He said unto them, Come and see.
What'd he say?
Come and see.
Right.
And they came and saw where he dwelt, and abode with him that day, for it was about the 10th hour. One of the two which heard John speak and followed him was Andrew, Simon Peter's brother. He findeth his own brother Simon, and saith to him,
What'd he say?
We have found the Messiah, which is being interpreted the Christ. And he brought him to Yahawahshi. And when he beheld him, he said, Thou art Simon, the son of Jonah. Thou shalt be called Cephas, which is being interpreted a stone.
Kepha, man. He said, You shall be called Kepha, which is the stone or the rock of the church. This is Peter, right? Go ahead and keep going.
The day following, Yahawahshi would go forth into Galilee.
Into who?
Galilee.
Right.
And find that Philip and said unto him, Follow me.
Now
Philip was of Bethesda, the city of Andrew and Peter.
Right.
Philip findeth Nathanael and saith unto him, We have found him of whom Moses in the law and the prophets did write.
Right.
Yahawahshi of Nazareth, the son of Joseph.
The what?
The son of Joseph.
Because they knew who his daddy was also. They knew the stock of people that he came from. They knew he was of the house of David. Right. Go ahead.
Daniel said to him, Can there any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Can what?
Can any good thing come out of Nazareth?
Can anything good thing come out of Oak Cliff? Can any good thing come out of Pleasant Grove? Can any good thing come out of West Dallas? Can any good thing come out of Compton? Can any good thing come out of damn the SWATs, Third Ward, Zone 6, reservations, right? Little Mexico. Can any good thing come out of there? Because they know this area where they saying that Christ came from, it's not a good area. So how can the Messiah come out of there? How can something so good that's supposed to save us all come from the ghettos that we come from? Go ahead, King.
Verse 46. And Nathanael said to him, Can any good thing come out of Nazareth? Philip said to him, Come and see. Yahawahshi saw Nathanael coming to him and said to him, Behold, an Israelite indeed, whom there is no God. Nathanael said to him, Whence knowest thou me? And Yahawahshi answered, said to him, Before that Philip called thee, when thou wast under the fig tree, I saw thee. Nathanael answered and said to him, Rabbi, thou art the Son of God, thou art the King of Israel. Keep going.
Now we can yield right there. Right? Because I just wanted to show you that a number of these disciples or apostles that follow Christ, they came from the same rural areas that Christ came from. Right? So the next precept.
If I could just add one point to that.
Go ahead, King.
I just wanted to expound on that because us being Christ-like, man, and being followers of Hamashiach Yahawahshi, right? We are those same brothers, man. We are the same sisters that's going out on the highways and byways and compelling our brothers and sisters to turn to the Messiah. And they're gonna look at us too. And some of our brothers and sisters look to Hamashiach and they be like, "Oh, this is y'all call this the truth? You telling me that this is the truth?" And that's the same thing. And they look at you and they tell you, can any, like the brother was saying, can any good thing come out of Oak Cliff? Well, I'm showing you the Messiah, man. I'm point you, and that's why what John was telling them, make ye straight the way of the Lord. Right? There's
Yo,
somebody whose shoes I can't latch.
Nasi, try to turn you. Try to turn your camera off. All right.
Con.
You can keep expounding. I just want to see if that helped.
Con, but I was just trying to show that the same thing as we brought out earlier in Ecclesiastes 1:9, because we want to show everybody through the precepts that Yahawahshi is from Nazareth, and we are those same people too as well. But in saying that, we have to see that these things are still prevalent to this day. We still are compelled to go and tell our brothers and sisters about this truth.
That's right.
And we are, and some of them are going to look at us and see that and believe that we are beguiled, right? Well, like we're not telling the truth, or if we telling lies, right? But I just want to expound on that point, Salaki.
Kind. Next precept is going to be Deuteronomy 28:16. Deuteronomy 28:16. Bring it out. All right.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 16. Cursed shalt thou be in the city.
What did it say?
Cursed shalt thou be in the city. And cursed shalt thou be in the field.
So let's see if these different this particular curse can apply to Hamashiach, right? Let me get Isaiah 53 and let's start at verse 2.
Isaiah chapter 53 and verse 2.
Right.
For he shall grow up before him as a tender plant, and as a root out of a dry ground.
Right.
He hath no form nor comeliness.
He had what?
No form nor comeliness.
Right. So he wasn't decked out rich man, comely to look upon. He didn't come in that form. He came very lowly. He came very common. Right. Go ahead.
Come. And when we shall see him, there is no beauty that we should desire him.
So when we see Hamashiach here on the physical earthly plane the first time as Jesus or Yahawahshi of Nazareth, there was no beauty in him that he should be desired. He didn't come with the longest fringes, the biggest mitri.
He didn't come with a bag. Bro.
He didn't come with a bag. He actually had a job. He had a job, bro. And we go get into that as well. He had to work. Right? Go ahead, King.
He is despised and rejected of men, a man of sorrow.
He's what?
A man of sorrow.
He's despised and rejected of men. Just like we are. Man of sorrow. Right? Go ahead.
And acquitted with grief. And we hid as it were our faces from him. He was despised, and we esteemed him not.
And what?
Esteemed him not.
And we don't esteem each other. We don't esteem each other. When we see a brother walking in righteousness, now we do our best to do that in Israel, but it's even bickering among Israel. But if you are an Israelite in this oppression and captivity, striving to keep the commandments, you are already extremely righteous. Because a lot of people in this captivity are not even in the remote, in the slightest, trying to keep the commandments. They are not trying to walk circumspect. They are not leaning on Hamashiach. They are not leaning on the law, right? So if you're a man that's striving to be perfect, to be circumspect, to walk upright, you are already worth somewhat of esteem, even though we know that our righteousness is as a filthy rag. Right? Go ahead. All right.
Surely he had borne our griefs and carried our sorrows, yet we did esteem him stricken and smitten of God.
And what?
And afflicted.
Stricken, smitten of God, and afflicted. Just like us. Just like the Israelites, scattered throughout the four corners. These curses cleave to us, then they are on us for a sign. Right? Let me get Luke 19 and 22. You got something, Nasi? Nakai, you got something?
Live.
Con. We had Luke chapter 19 and verse 22. Luke.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 19 and verse 22. And it reads, and he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man.
A what?
an austere man.
So this is Christ giving a parable which he spoke in game, right? Like we do. It's a precept I want, right? But this is saying that the Lord or Christ, the Lord in this parable, who was Christ, is an austere man, right?
Reading on. Taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
Read through I think you can read through 22.
I started at 22.
I'll
keep reading.
No, that's all I wanted. That's all I wanted. I think it was 21 through 22, Baba Kashai.
Come read Luke 19 and 21. For I feared thee, because thou art an austere man.
Mm-hmm.
Thou takest up that thou layest not down, and reapest that thou didst not sow. And he said unto him, out of thine own mouth will I judge thee, thou wicked servant. Thou knewest that I was an austere man, taking up that I laid not down, and reaping that I did not sow.
And that when we know that austere means strict, straight to the point, don't sugarcoat, right? Very direct, right? Don't beat around the bush, don't play any games, no nonsense type of person. That's how Christ was, right? And he spoke in parables. He had parabolic speech, right? Give me that why speakest thou to them in parables, right? This is just a precept. Let me back in on the point that Christ spoke in similitudes, parables, allegorical speech. This is Colossians 4 and 6. It says, let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that you may know how ye ought to answer every man. Right? So you can use different methods in your speech or your description or storytelling to reach different people, right? Because as it says in this verse, it's not for everybody, right? Bring that out. All right.
Matthew 13 and 10.
It
says, and the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said, because it is given unto you.
It's given unto who?
Unto you.
Unto the Israelites.
To know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But unto them it's not given.
And even unto this day, we still speak in parabolic speech, dark sayings, similes and metaphors. We still talk like that. We've created a off-brand culture musically with this same type of speech. No other nation is doing that. And that's how you know this nation has to be us, and he has to be one of us, because we still doing it today naturally. We're not forcing it. It's just how we talk. That's how we are, right? Y'all we could be having a conversation at work, and the individual don't know. Another nation could be around. They don't know what we talking about. Like Joseph, he just be looking, smiling. He don't be knowing what's going on, because we have a flavor in our speech that everybody does not it's not subject to. It's not in them to, right? It's given unto you to understand the parables. That's why when different songs or different verbiage is used around us, even if we're not from the area and it's a certain slang being used, we can kind of pick up on it, right? Because it's a universal language that we as a nation all speak, right? I think that's it on that. Let me get.
If I could just expound on that while y'all pulling the next precept, even with the so-called Native Americans, the Jake, so-called blacks, and even the Latinos, while we can get amongst each other and we still know we got the same culture, we got the same slang terminology, if you will, on how we speak, the lingo, right? So what the brother is trying to show you through the spirit is that we got to be those people. If not us, then who?
Matthew chapter 11, read verse 19. And it reads, the Son of Man came eating and drinking and saying, behold, a man gluttonous and a wine bibber.
A what?
It says a gluttonous, a wine bibber.
A wine bibber.
A friend of publicans and sinners.
You see that? Christ was a wine bibber. He pulled up. He liked to have his wine. He liked to drink. Right? Just like Jake. Jake get off work and he want to grab a brew with his brews. You know what I'm saying? He want to have some wine and unwind. Right? That's just who we are. And when the average Jake get paid and he go grab his bottle, he pulling up in the hood on his folks. What did it say? He liked to and a friend of who?
It says a publicans and sinners.
And a friend of publicans and sinners. Right? This is who Christ was as a person. Right? Did he only hang with publicans and sinners? No. He hang with the disciples. His circle was full of nothing but righteous men. But those righteous men were traveling to rural areas to reach people that nobody was reaching, that nobody cared about. The same way the men of the Lord go out in the corner in the highways and byways in these different rural areas trying to reach our people that are caught up in sin and the ways of America. This is who the Messiah was. So as these scriptures come out, as these different precepts unfold, you tell me who this sound like. It sounds like a so-called Latino, Native American, or black man to me. Right? A true Israelite indeed. Right? Let's go to the next precept. John 2:1. John chapter 2 and verse 1.
John chapter 2, read verse 1. It says, "And the third day there was a marriage in Cana of Galilee, and the mother of Yahawahshi was there."
Right.
And both Yahawahshi was called and the disciples to the marriage.
Right. So his mom went to a wedding, and Christ and his crew was called to the wedding as well. Right. Christ and his disciples was called to the wedding as well. Go ahead.
Yahawahshi, and
Verse
when
3.
they wanted wine, the mother of Yahawahshi said to them, "They have no wine."
He said, "Hey, we ain't got no wine, Christ. We ain't got no drink here." And what he say?
It says, "And his mother said unto the servants," Yahawahshi saith unto her, "Woman, what have I to do with thee?"
Hey, mom, what they got to do with me? They ain't got no wine. What they got to do with me? Go ahead.
Mine hour is not yet come.
I ain't supposed to be turning up yet. What they got to do with me? I ain't supposed to be in here showing out, man. Go ahead.
His mother saith unto the servant, "Whatsoever he saith unto you, do it."
And then she went and told the servant, "If he tell you to do something, do it, because he finna get down." Go ahead.
And there was set there 6 water pots of stone, after the manner of the purifying of the Jews, containing 2 or 3 firkins apiece.
Go ahead.
Yahawahshi said to them, "Fill the water pots with water." And they filled them up to the brim.
Right.
And he said to them, "Draw out now and bear unto the governor of the feast."
He said, "Now draw out of that water, bro, and go pull up the governor for the feast." Right. Go ahead.
And they buried, and when the ruler of the feast had tasted the water that was made wine, he knew not whence it was, but the servant which drew the water knew, and the governor of the feast called the bridegroom.
You see that? Because they knew that they had just put water in there, but the governor didn't even know that it was water. He thought he was just sipping wine. Right? Go ahead, because he gonna tell you. Hold on. I'm gonna give you the floor. Hold on, though. Go ahead, Keith.
And said to him, "Every man at the beginning doeth set forth good wine. And when men have well drunk, then that which is worse. But thou hast kept the good wine until now."
He said, "You've been holding out." Usually, people put their best stuff out first, and then they sip the leftovers after that. You don't put the best wine out last. You done got down for the governor. I ain't even know you was holding back like that, right? Who gonna turn the what? Come on, man. What people gonna turn the party up like that? Come on, man. Now we being cornered, but it's real because this is the type of people that we are. Who gonna keep the party going like that?
Say the best for last.
Who gonna say the best for last? And then when everybody duck out, they come pull out the good stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like because the people that remain, now these really my part. Let me go turn them up.
It was like that at Summit. You know, we went outside. You know, just said,
hey man, shout out to soldiers of Yahawah, man. Shout out to our North Carolina
like
brothers,
that, though.
man.
The best stuff is really, and most of they all about lies. That's who we is, bro.
Because what people is this?
It's us.
Come on, man. Finish that out, Ike, and I'm going to give you the floor, King. Read through verse 11.
This beginning of miracles did Yahawahshi in Cana of Galilee and manifest forth his glory, and his disciples believed on him.
Because this was the first miracle that Christ did. Go ahead, Ike. It's on you, Nice.
Con, man. Man, the brother, man, he went to the bootleg, man.
Good.
Right there, man. The brother went to the bootleg and dug in the moonshine, man.
Mm-hmm.
The Yahawahshi made that thing happen, right?
Got
so
the good, right?
So this is the type of people that we living in, man. And the atmosphere. We painting the premise. The Bible's painting a perfect premise. Not only the nature of Yahawahshi, but the surrounding, the environment, that how he moved and his disciples moved. Right? When you take those attributes that the Bible is painting, and you try to apply them to every other nation that we see in the earth, right? None of them fit that. That's us, man. Right, you.
That's a good point. All right. We're going to roll to the next precept. It's going to be Mark chapter 6 and verse 34. Mark chapter 6 and verse 34.
This is the book of Mark chapter 6 and verse 34. And Yahawahshi, when he came out, saw much people and was moved with compassion.
Salakia. Mark. Okay, Salakia. That's what I want. You're right.
This is the book of Mark chapter 6 and verse 34. And Yahawahshi, when he came out, saw much people and was moved with compassion toward them.
Right.
Because they were as sheep not having a shepherd. And
so he had compassion upon his people because he seen that they were looking for a leader that they did not have, right? They were needing to be rallied as a people and to be joined back to some type of righteousness, and they didn't have anybody to lead the people spiritually, right? Go ahead, King.
Because they were as sheep not having a shepherd, and he began to teach them many things.
Go ahead.
And when the days was now far spent, his disciples came unto him and said, This is a desert place. And now the time is far past. Send them away that they may go into the country round about and into the villages and buy themselves bread, for they have nothing to eat.
Right.
He answered and said unto them, Give ye them to eat.
He said, well, feed them then. If they ain't got nothing to eat, let's feed them. Go ahead.
And they say unto him, Shall we go and buy 200 penny worth of bread and give them to eat?
So you want me to go drop out? You want me to go buy something for all these people, bro? Right, go ahead.
He said unto them, How many loaves have ye? Go and see. And when they knew, they say 5 and 2 fishes.
Right.
And he commanded them to make all sit down by companies upon the green grass. And they sat down in the ranks by hundreds and by 50s. And when he had taken the 5 loaves of the 2 fish and the 2 fishes, he looked up to the heavens and blessed. He did what? He looked up to the heaven. And blessed and brake the loaves and gave them to his disciples to set before them, and 2 fishes divided he among them all.
Now, before you say, finish that out. Read that last verse.
And they did all eat and were filled.
Now, with that being said, I don't know about y'all, but I've seen my mama, right, stretch some meals when I ain't know how we was all gonna eat, right? You know what I'm saying? But it's in our nature to do something like this. Now, with that being said, The Bible don't say how big those fish was. It just said it was 2 fishes and 5 loaves of bread. It didn't say how thick everybody's slice was. It said that everybody got their fill and they was full. That's what the scriptures say. We don't know if this was no little salmon or no huge salmon. We don't know. We just know it was 2 fish. And all I'm saying is the type of energy that Hamashiach had right here in this particular miracle. That's something that I've seen on a repeat basis amongst our people. We don't always have it, and I done seen, different parents in my lifetime stretch meals between a household, and everybody got full when it seemed like nobody was gonna get full. Khan, Nakai, have you witnessed something like that?
For sure. For
sure. Nasi, you witnessed something like that? I think the brother might have got a call. But this is something that is common among our people. Being able to stretch leftovers for 3 days. Being able to put scraps together and come up with a whole meal, right? This is something that our people is known for, right? Brother Jay said Khan, right? You know what I'm saying? This is something that our people is prominent for. I was raised on these type of meals, so I know it's possible, right? So again, that's just alluding to what stock of people that this would be similar to, right? Next precept, man. Let's get Deuteronomy 28 and 54. Deuteronomy 28 and 54, classic precept.
Deuteronomy chapter 28.
Hey, me and Jay done shared some of them meals. Me and Brother Jay done shared some of them meals that I'm referencing. Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 28, verse 54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother and towards the wife of his bosom.
Now, we're going to stop right there and deal with that. It's the first part of that. Read it again, the first part.
It says, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
It said his eye shall be evil towards his brother. So let's see if this is another curse that will apply to our people that will be on us for a sign. Let's see if Christ had to deal with these things, right? Let's get John 6 and 38. The book of John, chapter 6, verse 38. Because it said he knows our work, he knows our tribulation, right? And it said he came like unto his brethren. So let's see if some of these things that it was prophesied by Moses for us to go through, if Christ had to go through it.
John 6 and 38. For I came down from heaven not to do my own will, but the will of him that sent me.
He said what?
To do the will of him that sent me.
Now jump to verse 41.
41. The Jews then murmured at him because he said, I am the bread which came down from heaven. And they said, is not this Jesus, the son of Joseph?
They said, well, ain't this Joseph boy? They talking about I came down from heaven. Ain't Joe your daddy? What you talking about, bro? Go ahead.
His father and mother we know.
Right.
And how is it then that he saith, I come down from heaven?
So what you talking about, fam? Talking about you done came down from heaven, bro. Don't start, bro. Don't be doing all that, bro, because you doing too much, right? So this is already evil eye toward their brother, because he's speaking in what? Similitudes, parables.
Don't we know your sisters?
Bro, I went to school with your sister, bro. What you talking about you came down from heaven, bro? I know your mama, fam. She used to babysit my cousin. What you talking about? Go to the next precept, all right? Let's get Luke 4 and 14. We're going to see
Luke chapter 4.
We're going to see a pattern here, right?
Luke 4 and 14, and it reads, and Yahawahshi returned in the power of the Spirit into Galilee. And there went out a fame of him through all the region round about.
So they was talking about the boy. They was talking about Yahawahshi. Go ahead.
And he taught in their synagogues, being glorified of all.
Mm-hmm.
And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And
right, he came back to his hometown, back to the hood, well, back in the ghetto. Right, go ahead.
And as his custom was, he went into the synagogue on the Sabbath day and stood up for to read.
And he went in the synagogue, or in the where the Jews were, right, and opened the Bible to read. Go ahead.
And there was delivered unto him the book of the prophet Isaiah.
Mm-hmm.
And when he had opened the book, he found the place where it was written, "The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he had appointed me, anointed me to preach the gospel to the poor.
Mm-hmm.
He had sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to
Mm-hmm.
preach deliverance to the captives, and recovering of the sight to the blind, and to set at liberty them that are bruised, to preach the acceptable year of the Most High, Yahawahshi.
So he came in the synagogue. He opened it to Isaiah 61, and he started to read. And he read this prophecy. And then what did he do? Verse 20.
Verse 20. And he closed the book, and he gave it again to the minister, and sat down. And the eyes of all them that were in the synagogue were fastened on him.
Go ahead.
Okay, come on. So like
you're gonna read
verse 21.
24.
And he began to say unto them, this day is this scripture fulfilled in your ears.
He say, this day is the scripture fulfilled. And the thing about Christ, he said what was happening. He gave you a play-by-play of what was going on. He didn't leave you dumbfounded. He didn't leave you in the dark. He was the light, right? And he spoke in reference to that. But you have to have eyes to see and ears to hear. Like you said, it's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven. But unto them it is not given. Go ahead, King.
God, verse 22. And all bare him witness, and wondered at the gracious words which proceeded out of his mouth. And they said, is not this Joseph's son?
He said, bro, Joe, this boy in here tripping again. Here he go again, bro, talking about prophecies being fulfilled. Bro, ain't that Joseph's son, bro? No, ain't his mama Mary, right? I'm pretty sure that's Joseph's son, fam. Go ahead, King.
Verse 23. And he said unto them, yea, ye will surely say unto me this proverb, physician, heal thyself. Whatsoever we have heard done in Capernaum, do also here in thy country.
Come. Read.
And he said, verily I say unto you, no prophet is accepted in his own country.
But they didn't receive him. No prophet is accepted in his own country. Just like if you go, let's fast forward into today's time, right? And let's speak about how many rappers are dying in their own neighborhood. Why? Because you're not received in your own country. You got a better chance of going outside of your state and city and blowing up than you do right there in your own city. Because the ones that came up with you, they're going to be the first ones that hate on you. They're going to be the first ones to try to keep you back where they are. They're not going to want you to exceed or excel past them. So they're going to belittle you. Ain't you Joseph's son, bro? They're going to say things like that because their eye is evil towards you. They hating. They was hating on Hamashiach, and our people have been prophesied to hate on each other. This is a curse, the biggest curse that is on our people from Moses to date. We hate on each other, and we the last thing we want to do is congratulate somebody when we see them doing well, especially if we're not doing well.
You can throw Adam from Adam to Cain and Abel, man.
Con.
You know what I'm saying?
Con.
So it's been going on
for
years
time.
and centuries.
Con, that's a good point, King. Let's get the next precept, man. Let's get Matthew 13 and 54. Matthew 13 and 54. Whoever get there first can bring it out.
Matthew chapter 13 and verse 54. And when he was coming to his own country,
start at 53.
It came to pass that when Yahawahshi had finished these parables, he departed thence.
Mm-hmm.
And when he was coming to his own country, He taught them in their synagogues, and so much that they were astonished and said, whence hath this man this wisdom and these mighty works?
Mm-hmm.
Is not this the carpenter's son?
The what?
The carpenter's son.
Right.
Is not his mother called Mary?
Mm-hmm.
And his brethren James and Joseph and Simon and Judas?
And like, bro, we know your whole family, bro. Where you get all this wisdom from?
And his sisters, are they not all with us?
Are they what?
Not all with us?
Hey, yeah, all your people, we know your people, bro. We familiar. Who is you, bro, to be speaking like you this prophet or the son of God? Ain't you the carpenter's boy? Ain't you Joseph's son, bro? Ain't you James' brother? I know your sister, bro. Why you acting like you just some? Come on, bro. Stop it. Cut it out, bro. Keep reading.
I said, whence then hath this man all these things?
So how you know all these things? How you just this divine speaker that got all these parables and dark sayings going on with you, bro? What kind of wine you on? Right? Go ahead.
And they were offended in him.
They were what?
Offended in him.
Uh-huh.
But Yahawahshi said to them, prophet is not without honor, save in his own country and his own house.
You see that? Your own country and your own house, your own people is going to be the first one to slide skates upon you. Right? It said they were offended in him. And then the scriptures also says, blessed is he that's not offended in me.
Yep.
Right? That's coming straight from Christ.
Yep.
Finish that out.
And he did not many works there because of their unbelief.
And he stopped showing miracles and mighty works because they didn't believe it anyway. Imagine you turning water into wine. So to keep somebody's party going, bringing out all these dark sayings and parables and breaking down the prophecies and the prophets and the law, and nobody believing you. Imagine that. Imagine us doing that on the corners and highways. Imagine us going out to prophesy to our people. And imagine that. What if that was happening? What if we was really out trying to awaken our people and spread the good news and the gospel and tell them how they God's chosen people? And imagine if we was really doing that and they wasn't believing it. They didn't want to hear it. They didn't receive it. Next precept. John chapter 8, verse 58. Let me get John 8 and 58.
John chapter 8, read verse 58. That's all you want.
58 through 59.
Verse 58, and it reads.
So like you started at 56.
56. Your father Abraham rejoiced to see my day, and he saw it and was glad.
Right? Because we know, if you go back to Genesis 18 and 1, Christ in a previous time, Abraham laid eyes on Christ. But you got to have eyes to see it. Keep reading.
Then saith the Jews unto him, thou art not yet 50 years old, and hast thou seen Abraham? Yahawahshi said to them, verily, verily, I say unto you, before Abraham was, I am.
What he say? Before he was what?
I am.
Now, if you got eyes to see, it goes even deeper, but that's another class and another topic, right? Keep reading.
Then took they up stones to cast at him.
And then they tried to stone him. They tried to stone him for what he was saying, bro. Go ahead.
But Yahawahshi hid himself and went out of the temple, going through the midst of them, and so passed by.
He had to get up out of there because they were trying to stone him. They were trying to literally do him bodily harm. They was trying to hurt him. When all he was doing was fulfilling the prophecies. But because they didn't have their minds unlocked and didn't have eyes to see, they tried to kill the man. They tried to stone him. Right? Next precept. Now, I don't know what y'all have received so far, but so far, this sounds like Deuteronomy 28 and 54 to me.
Kind, I don't know what we got ahead, but I don't want to jump too far through the spirit. But you know, even when we dealing with Jake, man, because we got to dealing with the Yahawahshi being crucified. Right?
I'm going there. I'm going there. Good. I'm going there.
Yeah, go ahead.
We only got a few more precepts left, and I'm gonna definitely let you expound when we get there, King. Next precept is John 10 and 24. John chapter 10, verse 24. Actually, go ahead and start at 22 and read through 39.
John 10:22. And it was at Jerusalem, the feast of dedication, and it was winter. Yahawahshi walked in the temple in Solomon's porch. Then came the Jews round about him and said unto him, how long dost thou make us to doubt? If thou be the Christ, tell us plainly.
He said, what?
If thou be Christ, tell us plainly.
He said, bro, if you really Hamashiach, bro, just tell us, right? After he done said it numerous of times, right? But they say, bro, just tell us plainly. All this game you dropping and talking in these, tell me straight up, bro. Right? Like I can't deal with all that.
You would believe.
As if he would say, I'm the Son of God, and you would just believe it.
Yeah, they'd be like, yeah, right.
Go ahead.
Come on, bro. Yeah, how should I answer them? I told you and you believe me not.
Hey, bro, I done told you, and you ain't believe me. What else you want me to do? Hey, y'all holding the precept in the Nazi, y'all can bring him out, bro. But you know, he said, bro, I done already told you. What,
damn, nigga, I told you already.
What you want me to do, bro? How else you want me to tell you, bro? I done numerous miracles. I done gave you the parables. I'm breaking down the prophecies. I'm breaking down the law. What you want me to do, bro? Go ahead.
He said, the works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness.
You done seen them, bro. Go ahead.
But you believe not, because you're not of my sheep.
Because what?
You're not of my sheep. As I said unto you.
Like, bro, you not gonna hear it, bro. Because you not supposed. You will never get it. Go ahead.
My sheep hear my voice. And I know them, and they follow me.
Right.
And I give unto them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand.
Go ahead.
My Father which give them me,
which
give them me, is greater than all, and no man is able to pluck them out of my Father's hand.
Read on.
I and my Father are one.
Right. Then, why? Because he said, I and my Father are one, because Christ sits on the right hand of the Most High. And he said nobody can pluck them out of my Father's hand. So where are they at? Right there with the Most High. We are the body of Hamashiach. Right? Nobody can pluck them out of my Father's hand. He said, me and my Father are one, because they are on one accord. He came to do the Father's will, not his own. Just like he said, and what is that? In verse 25, the works that I do in my Father's name, they bear witness of me. Go ahead. I pick up at 30.
Then the Jews took up stones again to stone him.
They did what?
Took up stones again to stone him.
What? Nah, yeah, like he tripped again.
It's like,
here you go with that. You know what I'm saying?
It's like SpongeBob. Whenever them niggas just got tomatoes, they just randomly pull tomatoes out of thin air, just ready. Start throwing them hoes at somebody.
Bro.
That's what they had stones. They must have had stones in their backpack, something like. Them niggas just had
that was a common weapon. That was a common weapon.
They
bro.
was
like,
ready to stone it.
Here you go again, bro. Say it
hey,
again.
out there in the ghetto.
Say it one more time, bro. Say it again, bro. And I'm gonna pepper you with these stones.
He said, "What? What you?"
I do it. Right. And all Christ was doing was giving the understanding. He gave the details of the law.
Like, how you gonna try to stone me? You just asked me to tell you about Christ or not.
Right.
Then when you don't like the answer, you gonna try to pick up a stone.
He gave you all the intricacy of the prophecies that regarded him, and that was being fulfilled. And then when you asked him and he told you, you tried to stone him. You didn't believe him. You didn't know. He told you. He said, say it plainly. He said, all right, bro, I'm going to say it just like this, bro. I told you, you didn't believe me. The things that I did through my Father, you seen them. And you still didn't believe me. Right? I come to do my Father's will. The people that are for me, that my sheep, they're going to hear my voice. They're going to receive me. They're going to believe me. But the reason you don't, because you not my sheep, bro. Why is you even asking me to tell you plainly, bro? Because you're not going to believe me. Go ahead.
Then he answered them, many good works have I shewed unto you from my Father. For which of those works do ye stone me? And keep going.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, the Jews answered, saying, for a good work we stone thee not, but for blasphemy. And because
but for what?
For blasphemy.
Read through 39. Go ahead.
Because that thou being a man makest thyself God.
Because thou being a man, thou makest thyself God. Keep reading.
Yahawahshi answered them, is it not written in your law?
Is it what?
Not written in your law.
Go ahead.
I said ye are gods.
I said what?
Ye are gods.
So it was written in the law The reason that y'all spook because y'all don't know the law. Not only am I the son of God, you is too. But the reason it's offending you and you don't get it because you don't know the law. Precept. Go ahead, keep reading.
If he called them gods, unto whom the word of God came, and the scriptures cannot be broken, say ye of him, whom the Father has sanctified and sent into the world.
All right, quick precept. Read that again, though. That is it written in your laws? 34.
Is it not written in your laws? I said, ye are gods.
You're what?
Ye are gods.
This is John 7:49. It says, but this people who knoweth not the law are cursed.
Are what?
Are cursed. This is the same thing when you reference Hosea 4:1 on down. We suffer from a lack of knowledge. That knowledge is the law, statutes, and the commandments.
People void of understanding.
A people void of understanding. As children, right? Wise to do evil, but to do good.
They know none.
Yeah.
So with not knowing the law, you don't know the law, and you don't even know it when you don't know it when you hear it, and you don't know it when you read it. You don't know it when you see it. He's right there in your face. And because you don't read it, you can't see it. Go ahead.
It says,
stop at 35.
If he called them gods unto whom the word of God came, and the scriptures cannot be broken, say ye of him whom the Father hath sanctified and sent into the world, thou blasphemest, because I said I am the Son of God. If I do not the works of my Father, believe me not. But if I do, though ye believe not me, believe the works that ye may know and believe.
He say, if you don't believe me, bro, believe the works. Because you see things happening, right? When I'm going to work in the name of Yahweh, right? You see things coming to pass. You see these things being fulfilled. Believe the works. Don't believe me. And don't we say the same thing on the corners and the highways and byways? We say what? Charge us. Don't take my word for it. Go check out the scriptures for yourself. Read it for yourself. Go ahead.
It says, believe that the Father is in me and I in him. Therefore they sought again to take him, but he escaped out of their hands.
They got on his bump again when he said the Father is in me and I in him. See, there you go again. You know what I'm saying? Like, there you go, tripping again. But this is our people, man. Right? Our evil toward their brother. No love for Hamashiach. No love for the law. Right? Next precept, I'll bring it out. This is John 11:6. We only got a few more precepts. This is John 11:6. And it reads.
I could have brought it out.
Go ahead, King.
John 11:6. When he had heard, therefore, that he was sick, it says, he abode 2 days still in the same place where he was.
Right. So he heard that this is when Lazarus was sick. He heard that he was sick, and it touched Hamashiach because he had love for Lazarus. Right. Go ahead.
And after that said he to his disciples, let's go into Judea again.
He said, what?
Let's go to Judea again.
Go ahead.
And his disciples said unto him, Master, the Jews of late sought to stone thee, and goest thou thither again?
They say, bro, they did not. Hey, bro, you want to go back to Judea, bro? Bro, they just tried to stone you, and you trying to go back? What'd he say?
He said, his disciples said that Jesus answered, are they not 12 hours in the day? If any man walk in the day, he stumble not, because he seeth the light of this world.
Go ahead.
But if a man walk at night, he stumbleth, because there's no light in him.
Because what?
There's no light in him.
Right.
These things saith he, and after that he saith unto them, our friend Lazarus sleepeth, but I go that I may awake him out of sleep.
Right. Watch what they say.
Then said his disciples, Lord, if he sleep, he shall do well.
They say, bro, if he just sleep, bro, let him get him nap in. Right? Let him. He ain't doing wrong with going to sleep, right? Right. What Christ said.
Howbeit, Yahawahshi spoke of his death,
right?
But they thought that he had spoken of taking a rest and sleep.
Christ was like, man, these boys can't even keep up with me, man. They don't even get what I'm saying, bro.
He said, bro, he sleep, bro.
What's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Let him get a little sleep. He probably tired. You know what I'm saying? Christ, bro, they just don't get it. What he say? Read verse 14.
It says, Yahawahshi said to them plainly.
Then he said unto them plainly, bro.
Lazarus is dead.
Bro, he's dead. Oh, that's what you were saying. And this is game, man. It's just like we say, like, man, that boy had what he say, he took the long nap. You know what I'm saying?
He's like, bro, Lazarus is dead.
He's dead, bro. Like he's no longer with us, bro. You're not waking up from this one unless I wake him up. She like you. Oh, that's old.
Yeah, that's old, bro.
My bad.
We can keep going on this.
Nah, let's sit on that. Let's sit on that. Next precept, Luke 22 and 47. That was just to bring it out that this disciples like, bro, y'all you trying to go back?
It's like that.
You trying to go back in there, bro? They was just trying to.
We have our slow moments. Like we be talking about something.
No, cut.
And I think you talking about something else. You be like, bro, this is what I really like. I see. But it's like it's Jake though.
Hey, those are deep parables. Those are dark sayings, man.
Luke 22 and 47.
Luke 22 and 47.
And while he yet spake, behold, a multitude, and he that was called Judas, one of the 12, went before them and drew near unto Yahawahshi to kiss him. Mm-hmm. But Yahawahshi said unto him, Judas, betrayest thou the Son of Man with a kiss?
Bro, you gonna betray me with a kiss? Go ahead. It's just like the holy kiss that you supposed to greet your brethren with, like our greeting when we meet each other. Imagine one of somebody in the congregation is working with the folks, you know what I'm saying, and we want it on the list of the FBI. What's the hate group?
Southern Poverty Law.
Right. And somebody give us up. They come and dap us up with the hug, and they like, bro, you gave me up with the royal greeting. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, King.
Verse 49, Luke 22 and 49. When they which were about him saw what would follow, they said unto him, Lord, out of one, shall we smite with the sword?
Should we pull a strap? You want me pull out on him? What you want me to do? You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And one of them smote the servant of the high priest and cut off his ear.
Before he even gave an answer, somebody done already fired off on him. Right? Go ahead.
And Yahawahshi answered and said, Suffer ye thus far.
Say, hey, bro, chill. Don't do no more.
And he touched his ear and healed him.
He did what?
Touched his ear and healed him.
And the same people that's coming to get Hamashiach, he done grabbed boy ear, picked up his ear and healed him. The same people that's coming to carry him away. Peter, I believe, done pull out the sword, done drew down on him and sliced his ear off. And Christ say, chill, bro, you doing too much. And healed the person, right? Go ahead, King.
Verse 52. Then you help.
You got it. Hold on. You got a precept.
I was going to say something real quick. Like, the people that say that Christ didn't really do the miracles, how could they explain that?
Man, if I played demon, they'd be like, the scriptures say that you give us the eyes that can't see, ears that they cannot hear.
God.
He did with up his ears, so he was able to hear. I already know how they try to do it, bro.
God. And that's what I'm saying. How could the people that's coming to take him away actually take him away after he healed this man's ear?
Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
And even in today's time, man, you'll have that, man. Like you really see like this truth, man, on the outside is taboo, if you will. It's more so you seeing it kind of come to light, right? The truth, people coming into this thing and having the knowledge. But a lot of brothers is being healed by this thing, man. A lot of brothers. And so how can you still now I have some people that, you know, look to me and be like, well, at first they question, but still now, after years off in this thing, they be like, man, you can't deny that.
That's right.
But how can you? And those people that do deny us being walking in this truth are these same people, right? That took up Yahawahshi Mashiach. Right.
And even when they see the miracles, like they see the, you know, a lot of people from your past see the transition you've made through the Spirit, which is a miracle within itself, right? So they can see that, see your change, see your the light, right, shining, glowing through you and those around you, your family, and still be in denial. Like, nah, bro, he just acting, he putting on him. He ain't really like that, fam. You know what I'm saying? He ain't really like that. He just, you know. Go ahead, kid.
Luke 22:52. Then Yahawahshi said unto the chief priests and the captains of the temple and the elders which were come to him, be ye come out as against a thief with swords and staves? When I was daily with you in the temple, ye stretched forth no hands against me. Mm-hmm. But this is your hour and the power of darkness.
He said, hey, bro, you ain't come like this for thieves. You know what I'm saying? You gonna come at me with the swords drawn? You know what I'm saying? I was all around y'all in the synagogue and nobody touched me. But now y'all gonna come at me with swords? He said, you know that's right, bro, because it has to play out like this. You know what I'm saying? This is prophesied to happen. I think, read 54.
Then took they him and led him and brought him into the high priest's house. And Peter followed afar off.
Now let's get John 19:10. John 19:10. Yashala already there. John 19:10.
John chapter 19. We'll read verse 10. And it reads, Then said Pilate unto him, Speak thou not unto me. Knowest thou not that I have power to crucify thee and have power to release thee?
What'd he say?
Yahawahshi answered, Thou couldst have no power at all against me, except it was given thee from above. Therefore he that delivered me unto thee hath the greater sin. And from this forth, Pilate sought to release him.
It was like, bro, you short, bro. I ain't got no animosity, no beef with you. I ain't got no problem with you, bro. I'll free you, bro. Go ahead.
But the Jews cried out, saying, If thou let this man go, thou art not Caesar's friend.
Yo, man, this man an enemy of the state. You just gonna let him walk free?
Whosoever maketh him a king speaketh against Caesar.
If you making him a king, then you saying Caesar ain't king. That's what we gonna say. We gonna hold you in contempt. That's what they say. You know what I'm saying? Right? Go ahead.
And when Pilate therefore heard that saying, he brought Jesus forth and sat down in the judge's seat in a place that is called the pavement, but in the Hebrew, Gabbatha. And it was the preparation of the Passover. About the 6th hour, he said to the Jews, Behold your king.
He said, what?
Behold your king.
He said, bro, this is y'all king. Behold your king. What they say?
But they cried out, Away with him.
What they say?
Away with him. Crucify him.
Do what?
Crucify him.
Go ahead.
Pilate said to him, Shall I crucify your king?
They said, what Pilate say?
It said, Shall I crucify your king?
Hey, bro, y'all want me to kill y'all king? And this is on a spiritual level, of course, Hamashiach being the King of Kings, but on just the average black man is a king in this earth. So if you want them to crucify any black man, you're telling them to put a king to death. Right? Go ahead.
We have no king but Caesar.
They said what?
We don't have no king but Caesar.
And they still feel that way today. Right? When we try and show them that Christ is his real depiction, they say, nah, all I know is white Jesus. Right? No, I'm not an Israelite. I'm an American. I'm black. Right? Leaning on the understanding that was given to them by Caesar. Right?
Then delivered he him therefore unto them to be crucified. They took him and led him away, and he, bearing his cross, went forth into a place called the place of skulls, which is called in the Hebrew Golgotha, where they crucified him and 2 others with him on either side, and Yahawahshi in the midst. And Pilate wrote a title and put it on the cross, and the writing was, Yahawahshi of Nazareth.
What was the writing?
Yahawahshi of Nazareth, the King of the Jews.
The what?
The King of the Jews.
So on his headstone, if you will, it said Yahawahshi of Nazareth, the King of the Jews. Right? Go ahead.
This title, then he read many of the Jews, for the place where Yahawahshi was crucified was nigh to the city, and it was written in Hebrew and Greek and Latin.
So it was written in 3 languages. So if you passed by and you didn't, whatever tongue you needed, it was spoken unto you, or you could read it clearly. Right? Go ahead.
Verse 25. Then there stood.
No. Read through 22.
I did.
No, you didn't.
Oh, my bad. Pilate answered.
21. You had 21.
Oh, my bad. Then said the chief priests of the Jews to Pilate, write not the King of the Jews, but that he said, I am the King of the Jews.
They say, hey, bro, don't put the King of the Jews. That ain't our king. Just say he said he was the king. Right? What Pilate say?
He said, what I have written, I have written.
He said, bro, I already wrote what I wrote, and I'm not finna change it. Because through the Spirit, Pilate believed it.
God, he don't want nothing to do with that.
What'd you say to God?
Yeah, he don't want nothing to do with that, man.
Con. Right? Nah, bro, I said what I said, bro. Right? Jump to 25.
Now therefore stood by the cross of Yahawahshi's mother and his mother's sister.
So they killed him in front of his mother. He died a black man's death because he was a black man. Right? Go ahead.
Mary, the wife of Cleophas, and Mary Magdalene. When Yahawahshi therefore saw his mother and the disciple standing by whom he loved, he said to his mother, Woman, behold thy son. Then said he to the disciples, Behold thy mother.
Now who do that? If what people do that? If your I still got partners whose mamas is referenced as mama. Mama Cooks, right? Mama Green, right? You know what I'm saying? We still have our people just do that. Our loved ones reference that their mother as mama. So on his deathbed, he say, "Hey, mama, my boy, that's your son," and he said, bro, this is your mama, right? You know what I'm saying? That's us.
Look out, man. Look out for him.
Look out. Y'all have each other. You just gained the son. You lost and gained the son, and you gained a mother. Look out, man. Y'all lock in, because I'm finna give up the ghost, right? Go ahead.
And from that hour, the disciples took her into his own house.
From that hour, he said, yeah, she a part of my house now. I'm gonna look out for your mama. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
After this, Yahawahshi, knowing that all things were now accomplished, that the scriptures might be fulfilled, saith, I thirst. Now there was set a vessel full of vinegar, and they filled a sponge with vinegar and put it upon the hyssop and put it to his mouth. And when Yahawahshi therefore had received the vinegar, he said, It is finished. And he bowed his head and gave up the ghost.
Right? So this is the crucifixion of Christ, right? Dying a black man's death, slain in the street for all these people to see. Just like we look on all these different it's recent videos of the brother being shot with 60 bullets, right? 90 shots was shot and he got hit 60 times, right? You know what I'm saying? All these different so-called black men and sisters dying and being slain in the street from our nation. The same death that they're dying is the same death that Christ died, right? Because he is one of us. He is, was, and will always be a so-called black man, a Judite, right? I got a few more precepts, and I know, Nazi, you have some things you wanted to touch on.
I was just gonna. That's where I was going with it. Mary. As we see all these movies and the things of that nature, videos and stuff like that play out how a mother was like, "Oh, not my baby.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he was a good boy. Why ain't do this to
Boys
him?"
in the Hood when Ricky got shot and they pulled Ricky up to his mama crib.
Right. And that's what you see. That's what you're seeing right here in the scriptures, right?
Mm-hmm.
Modern day. So, just wanted to try to paint that premise. And when you're looking at the scriptures, family, knowing that these people are us, you have to. There's something that you can equate that can actually line up with the scriptures that we have experienced on in this side. You know, so I encourage you brothers to try to make the connection, brothers and sisters. So like
Calm. Mighty point, King. You know, like we said before, man, this is not, there's no mystery as of what nation of people these different things that we've outlined is happening to. It's not happening to everybody. It's only select individual that these particular curses would apply to. And I got one more curse to align with the events that happened through Christ and his lifespan while he was on earth. Bring it out, King.
Acts 10, verse 38, and it reads
3 through 39.
How God anointed Yahawahshi of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and with power, who went about doing good and healing all that were oppressed of the devil. And God was with him. And we are witnesses of all things which he did, both in the land of the Jews and in Jerusalem, whom they slew and hanged on a tree.
They did what?
Slew and hanged on a tree.
So they slew Christ and hung him on a tree, right? It's just starting the process. He was slew and hung on a tree, right? Give me Galatians 3 and 13.
Little book Galatians 1, 3 and 13, that's what you said.
Okay.
Galatians chapter 3, verse 13, and it reads, Christ have redeemed us from the curse of the law, being made a curse for us.
So Christ redeemed us from the curse for the law, being made a curse for us, right? Go ahead.
For it is written, cursed is everyone that hangeth on a tree.
Cursed is everyone that hangeth from the tree, right? The same way Christ hung on trees is the way we were hung on trees, right? But it says as it was written. So where is this written? Where does this come from? This notation or this sense of being hung from trees. Why is that a thing? Why did they hang us from trees? Why is that something that they just did to us? It don't happen to all people. It happens to the so-called Latinos, blacks, and the Native Americans. Why are they hanging us from trees? Get there, Yasha. Deuteronomy 21 and 23.
Deuteronomy chapter 21 and verse 23, and it reads, his body shall not remain all night upon...
Start at 22.
22. And if a man have committed a sin worthy of death, and he be put to death, thou hang him on a tree. His body shall not remain all night upon that tree.
Right.
But thou shalt in any wise bury him that day. For he that is hanged is accursed of God.
So if you hang from a tree, right? If you're put to death and you're hung from a tree, your body is not supposed to remain on the tree overnight, right? But they would hang us from trees for days, literally have picnics under our hanging bodies, strange fruit,
stinky body, like bro.
And now when you die, your body defecates on its own, it urinates on its own. It releases all the bowels that it has left in them. And these nasty heathens would have picnics under our dead bodies, right? And that's where the lady Nina Simone wrote the song Strange Fruit. It's talking about our bodies hanging from the trees. We are the strange fruit, right? The same manner that Christ died in is how his people were being slain and murdered in mass number. Even until today, they still hanging us from trees because they know that's a curse upon our people. This law is not written to them. It's written to us. So if we died this died this certain type of death, or beyond that, where would they even, why is it a stigmatism to hang these people from trees? Why is that something that they just continually are perpetuating? Because they know it's in our law, right? And that's why, and they also know it's a curse. And that's why Paul said this. Give me that Romans 3 and 9 and 3.
Romans chapter 9 and verse 3.
Bring it out.
For I could wish that myself were accursed from Christ.
See that? I wish that myself was accursed from Christ. Go ahead.
For my brethren.
For who?
My brethren.
My what?
My brethren.
And
my kinsmen.
And
according to the flesh.
For my bloodline, my seed line, my stock of people, my brethren, right? The people that is happening to, for them people, right? Go ahead.
Who are Israelites.
Who are what?
Israelites.
Go ahead.
To whom pertaineth the adoptions, the glory, the covenant, and the giving of the law, the service of God, and the promises.
Go ahead. Finish out with 5.
Whose are the fathers, and of whom, as concerning the flesh, Christ came.
Concerning the what?
The flesh of whom Christ came.
So again, that lets you know that Christ came through the flesh of an Israelite.
Yeah.
Same way Paul was, same way we are, the same stock of people. Paul is saying, I wish that I could have died for my brethren's sake. Right? Finish that down in verse 5.
Who is over all, God bless forever. Amen.
Hallelujah. God. And that's it, man. That's all I have for this class. I pray that it was edifying. If anybody else have any points they want to expound upon or speak on before we close class, the floor is open.
Like we just that Hebrews 7 and 14 when we went to early on opening up through the Spirit, how it's evident, man, who Yahawahshi Mashiach is, right? And they've done throughout history, they've done many slanderous, blasphemous things to try to paint, whitewash, diminish who the Messiah is and who he came to die for.
That's right.
Right. So now you know, Lord willing, through the precepts that was brought out today, that Yahawahshi was from Nazareth. He was from the ghetto. He was from the rural areas, right? And he came to save his people. Those same people would have to derive from these same atmospheres, these same environments, these same struggles, the same curses, right? So with that, I pray that we all pray that, all Israel shall be saved. But the first point of it is to acknowledge who you are, right? And acknowledge who you're not. And when you understand that you're an Israelite, it's time for you to start coming back and keeping these laws, these statutes, and these commandments, right? And the faith in Hamashiach Yahawahshi, the so-called Nazarene, right? The king of the Jews, man. With that, I yield. Nakai, the scribe, you got something not?
I got a precept.
Yeah, I was just
go ahead, Nakai.
I was just gonna say, ultimately, it's like it really just give us hope, the fact that Christ came in the flesh and he went through these same things that we're going through. So like in going through more than we're going through right now, it should just give us more, hope that we can make it, we can follow his steps and make it through. I had a precept real fast, just showing what type of life Christ lived. He didn't come on the earth like, exhorting himself, like high stature, having the riches of the world, or none of that. He lived a humble life, just like how most of like we all do too. This is Luke 9 and verse 58. And Yahawahshi said unto him, foxes have holes, and birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man have nowhere to lay his head. So he's the king, the savior for us, but when he was on this earth, he lived a very humble life. And saying, I don't have nowhere to lay my head. Like, I only know Jakes who say that. You got somewhere to lay your head tonight? You good? You know what I mean? I never heard no heathens like speak like that. So that's how you know that. You know what I mean? This is just stuff that we all go through. Jake.
Good precept, Bob. Good precept. Also, man, Papa was a Rolling Stone, man.
He was a pilgrim in the earth, man.
You can go ahead, Chef.
I just got this closing precept, man. This is First Chronicles chapter 16, and I'm gonna start at 10, right? It says, "Glory ye in his holy name. Let the heart of them rejoice that seek the Lord. Seek the Lord and his strength. Seek his face continually. Remember his marvelous works that he hath done, his wonders and the judgments of his mouth. O ye seed of Israel, his servants, ye children of Jacob, his chosen ones. He is Yahweh by Shem Yahawahshi, our power. His judgments are in all the earth. Be ye mindful always of his covenant, the word which he commanded to 1,000 generations, even of the covenant which he made with Abraham, and of his oath unto Isaac, and hath confirmed the same to Jacob for a law, and to Israel for an everlasting covenant. Right. So, man. Knowing and understanding that, man, we are the saints upholding commandments, right? From Brother Shemariah.
Israel.
Brother Nasi.
Brother Nakai.
We want to give all glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Wamalak Yahawahshi. Right? We're going to give double honors to the elders of the house of David. Almighty Shalom to all the saints scattered abroad throughout the four corners. Until our next appointed times, we say, Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Kwam Yashala.
Shalom.
Shalom, y'all.
Shalom.